Cybill Shepherd wasn't just a Hollywood star, she was a storm in heels, a southern siren with golden hair that caught the light like fire and a face that could stop time. Her debut didn't just make waves, it sent shockwaves through Tinseltown. She didn't chase the spotlight, she owned it. With Golden Globe nods, critical praise, and a public that couldn't get enough, Cybill soared. But fame, as it often does, giveth and taketh away. And when it turned on her, it turned hard. Affairs, scandals, and behind-the-scenes battles came crashing in. A romance with a married director and clashes with powerful TV execs turned her red carpet highs into back-page headlines. Stardom faded, and darker days followed. Off-camera, the fiercest fight awaited her. A battle with skin cancer that brought excruciating pain and a silence more haunting than obscurity. Once too famous to fail, she became too controversial to forgive. So, what happened to Cybill Shepherd? How does a star with the world at her feet lose her place among the constellations? In her memoir, Cybill Disobedience, she finally speaks the truths she once buried. Now, it's your turn to hear them. Born on February 18, 1950, in Memphis, Tennessee, Cybill came from humble beginnings. A middle-class home, a businessman father, a homemaker mother, and a name rich with legacy. Cy from her grandfather, Bill from her dad. Even as a child, she was impossible to ignore. With her platinum hair, porcelain skin, and piercing eyes, Cybill didn't just walk into a room, she owned it. She was more than a pretty face, she was a firecracker. At 16, she skipped school for a modeling audition, and from that moment, there was no looking back. Crowned Miss Teenage Memphis, she later captured hearts nationwide as Miss Congeniality. That rare mix of charm and fearlessness cracked open doors, and the industry noticed. By 18, Cybill was already a rising star. Named Model of the Year, her striking face graced the cover of Glamour magazine. One magazine cover, one chance moment. Director Peter Bogdanovich, flipping through pages at a supermarket, stopped cold. "Who is that girl?" he asked. Within weeks, her life changed. She landed a screen test for the Last Picture Show. It wasn't just her first film, it was the launchpad of a life lived in full view. Cybill didn't ride anyone's coattails. She carved her name into the Hollywood landscape with grit and unapologetic ambition. Her breakthrough role as J.C. Farrow in Bogdanovich's 1971 classic wasn't safe. It was seismic. As a hauntingly beautiful and emotionally tangled young woman, Cybill delivered a raw, fearless performance. In an iconic nude scene, she didn't just reveal her body, she bared her soul. It earned her a Golden Globe nomination for New Star of the Year. And the film? The Last Picture Show earned 8 Oscar nominations, 2 wins, and a permanent place in the American Cinema Hall of Fame. Hollywood hadn't just found a beauty, it had discovered a force. Cybill Shepherd wasn't just seen, she was felt. She brought more than looks, she brought presence, conviction, and creative fire. On Moonlighting, producers later admitted, without her, the show's razor-sharp wit wouldn't have existed. Cybill didn't just act, she helped shape a television revolution. But off-camera, the temperature was rising. Tension between Cybill and co-star Bruce Willis went from creative sparks to full-blown explosions. 2 stars, 2 strong egos, and no one willing to blink first. Their feud became legendary. Actor Curtis Armstrong recalled, "Those two were constantly at odds, yet the labels stuck unequally. Bruce was the fun guy. Cybill, labeled difficult." She later shot back, "When a man raises his voice, he's decisive. When a woman does, she's a diva." While Moonlighting topped ratings, Cybill's personal life was shifting beneath her. Pregnant with twins, she temporarily slowed production, only to be blamed by the press for the show's waning momentum. Meanwhile, Bruce Willis launched into superstardom with Die Hard. The chemistry that once lit up the screen began to dim. By the end, the magic was gone, the tension unbearable. Writing slipped, sparks faded, and in 1989, Moonlighting was canceled. On the surface, Cybill was still winning, Golden Globes, critical praise, network success. But the truth behind the scenes told a different story. Relentless pressure, sexist double standards, and emotional wear from ongoing battles. Without the tension, the screen wouldn't feel that real, she admitted. But that realism came at a cost. The brighter the spotlight, the darker the shadow it cast. Then came 1995. Cybill made her comeback with a bold new sitcom, Cybill. This time, she held the reins. The show followed an aging actress navigating rejection, motherhood, and an unforgiving industry. That character was me, she confessed, saying everything I used to hold back. The show struck a nerve. With sharp humor and unflinching honesty, Cybill tackled topics rarely seen on TV: aging, sexism, loneliness, with feminist fire and heart. Critics hailed her as the Lucille Ball of the 90s. The series earned her a 3rd Golden Globe, 12 Emmy nominations, and a top spot in CBS's ratings. But behind the scenes, a darker truth unraveled. In 2018, co-star Christine Baranski revealed the real reason for Cybill's abrupt cancellation. Cybill had refused a sexual advance from CBS CEO Les Moonves. After declining a ride home, she said, he began interfering with the show, eventually pulling the plug. Years later, Moonves resigned amid a wave of sexual misconduct allegations. Cybill never received an apology, but she never expected one. If I had said yes, maybe Cybill would have lasted longer, she said. But I wasn't here to trade dignity for a few more episodes. Yet Cybill's story was never just about TV. Long before Moonlighting, she made cinematic waves in The Heartbreak Kid and Taxi Driver. Her signature? Cool, icy restraint, and the ability to say more in a glance than most could in a monologue. After taking time off for motherhood, she returned with smaller roles, Fantasy Island, later leading to her breakout on TV. She also pursued her passion for jazz. Her 1974 debut album may not have charted, but it revealed a different side, soulful, timeless, and unshaken by trends. Even after Cybill was canceled, she kept going. Appearances in The L Word, Psych, Criminal Minds, and No Ordinary Family showed her range and her refusal to be boxed in. Her jazz albums continued, each one a love letter to authenticity. Cybill's life wasn't defined by one breakout moment. It was shaped by constant reinvention, a mosaic of grit, heart, and reinvention. In Cybill Disobedience, her memoir, she looked back with clarity and courage. As a young model in New York, she studied anthropology and art, questioning the shame tied to nudity. That belief empowered her to accept the role of JC in The Last Picture Show, nude scene and all. At the time, her boyfriend warned her, "If you do that scene, I'll never marry you." She did it anyway. They broke up. That moment didn't just end a relationship, it defined a future. Cybill chose passion over approval again and again. From public romances to private heartbreaks, Peter Bogdanovich, Elvis Presley, Don Johnson, she wasn't chasing fame. She was chasing truth, connection, and something deeper than stardom. Meaning, connection, truth. They weren't always tidy, but they were always real. Cybill Shepherd's personal life mirrored the same fierce spirit she brought to the screen. Bold, complex, and deeply human. Her marriages told a story. The search for stability, shadowed by old wounds. Cybill Shepherd's first marriage to David Ford ended in betrayal, leaving her with full custody of their daughter, Clementine, and a heavy sense of loss. Her second marriage to Bruce Oppenheim offered hope, but unraveled under fame's pressure. In Cybill Disobedience, she reflects on it all with striking honesty. She never apologized for her wild years, but what ultimately defined her wasn't rebellion, it was motherhood. Parenting became her anchor through the chaos. After heartbreak and public scrutiny, Cybill turned inward. She found peace in solitude and faith, learning that true love wasn't just passion, it was resilience. Her deepest bonds were with her children, her friends, and eventually, herself. Even as Hollywood moved on, Cybill didn't fade, she evolved. She battled skin cancer and years of undiagnosed IBS, but used her voice to break the silence around women's health. A near-fatal abdominal episode in 2007 marked her turning point. Recovery became rebirth. She spoke openly about menopause, chronic illness, and aging, challenging taboos with fearless honesty. At 75, Cybill no longer chases fame. She finds joy in music, advocacy, and her grandchildren. Her return to the Catalina Jazz Club in 2015 wasn't a comeback. It was a statement of self. Cybill Shepherd's journey is one of transformation. Through love, loss, and resilience, she embraced her truth and invites others to do the same. Her legacy isn't perfection, it's authenticity lived out loud. Please subscribe to our channel for more videos and don't forget to press the bell icon.